Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. My name is Jen. I'm a junior at SUNY SBU University and an initiated sister of Theta Phi Alpha for almost 2 years now. For today's video, I'm going to kind of talk about some do's and don'ts of formal recruitment. This is just kind of some knowledge that I gained being on the other side and recruiting girls, and I thought I would share this knowledge with you guys for if you're going through formal recruitment this semester or in the upcoming semesters. Before we get into the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed. That way I know to do more sorority related content in the future. And also, if you haven't done so already, head on down there and subscribe. You guys know I always appreciate all the love and support I can get. And now, with all that being said, let's just jump into the video. So I'm gonna kind of go through like general do's and don'ts, conversational do's and don'ts, and appearance or outfit do's and don'ts. And I'm going to start with like the general do's and don'ts. Some of these I have touched on in my sorority experience thus far video, so if you have not seen that already, I will leave that linked down below for you to check out. But some general do's: definitely go in there with an open mind. You don't want to go in there with your heart set on one sorority, because if it so happens that you don't get a bid from that sorority, you may have like a bad taste in your mouth about Greek life, or you'll be less likely to go through with joining Greek life. So go in there with an open mind and give every sorority that is available to you an equal chance, every sister an equal chance, put equal effort into everything. You also want to go in there ready to facilitate conversation. You want to go in there confident, and you want to go in there with a few questions. It definitely shows initiative if you have some questions that you want answered about a certain sorority or about Greek life in general. You don't want to go in there super timid. You don't want to go in there and stand in the corner, and you definitely don't want to seem not approachable. Most of these rounds are 15 to 20 minutes long, so that means you have 15 to 20 minutes to really showcase who you are and have a great conversation that will help later on when the sisters are voting. It helps if there is actually something to base their voting off of. If you just stand in the corner and never have a conversation, there's nothing we can base our judgment calls off of, and sadly that may mean you don't get a bid. So definitely go in there open-minded, go in there confident, ready to facilitate conversation, and with a few questions. Don't go in there with your heart set on one sorority, or on the other hand, don't go in there nervous, timid, or standoffish. So those are just like some general do's and don'ts I wanted to touch on first. Now we're going to go into the conversational do's and don'ts. So as for the do's for conversation, you really want to talk about yourself. Of course, you don't want to talk about yourself in like a condescending way, or you don't want to talk about yourself in a cocky way, but you do want to talk about yourself. So talk about your major, talk about internships, jobs you hold, where you volunteered, sports you played, hobbies you've had, places you've went, places you want to go, aspirations, all that kind of stuff. You definitely really want to kind of try and encompass who you are as a person and who you aspire to be in the years to come in this 15 to 20 minute conversation. It also helps if you can click with the sister or sisters you are talking with in some aspect. I know for me, if a girl comes up to me and says that they played volleyball, of course our conversation turns to volleyball. And later on, when I'm making like my judgment calls, or we're talking about sisters that we're voting on, it is helpful for me to remember, oh, I had a conversation with her about volleyball, we talked about this, we connected on this. As for the don'ts of conversations, I hear them called a whole bunch of different things, like the 3 B's or the 4 B's or that kind of stuff, but basically you don't want to talk about boys, you don't want to talk about booze or alcohol or parties, you don't want to talk about religion or the Bible, and you don't want to talk about religion, or it used to be called like Barack. So as for religion and politics, you really don't want to go in there preaching. Of course, you can touch upon what your religion is, or what you are as far as politics, but you definitely don't want to preach, because you could hurt someone's feelings, you could offend someone, or you can leave a bad taste in someone's mouth. So yeah, don't preach. You could of course touch on it, but definitely don't preach. As for like boys and booze and parties, it is just not a good look to go in there talking about a boy you slept with, a boy you want to sleep with, who you hooked up with at the party, who's been sliding into your DMs, who's been texting you, what frat he's from, yada yada yada. You also don't want to talk about the party you went to last week, or how much alcohol you can drink, or where you want to go this weekend, what bar you go to, what fake you have. Like, it definitely just puts a bad taste in my mouth personally, and it also shows maybe you're joining for the wrong reason. Of course, as you join Greek life, other things come along with it. You get a larger friend group, and of course you could get invited out to parties or bars and that kind of stuff. But if you're only talking about alcohol or parties, it kind of makes it seem like you're only in it to join Greek life for that very small aspect. Partying is a very small aspect of Greek life. There is a lot more that goes into being in a sorority, like community service hours, fundraising, philanthropy, taking on a little, taking on a position, organizing events, all that kind of stuff. And if you only join it for the partying aspect, you're in for a rude awakening come time for everything I just mentioned. Also, for boys, like, you never know. At least for Stony Brook, it is a very small school, and you may be talking to a girl who has history, past history with the boy you're talking about, present history with the boy you're talking about. It could be an ex-boyfriend. It could have been a tumultuous relationship. You never really know. Of course, if you're in like a long-term steady relationship, you can of course be like, oh, I have a boyfriend. We've been dating for so and so years, and we went here together. Like, that's fine. But just don't talk about all the other stuff. Of course, use your discretion. If you happen to stumble upon saying something about a boy, you know, don't make the entire conversation about that. Definitely use your discretion. And if you see the face of the sister change that you're talking to, switch conversation. It's not weird to talk about 100 different things in a 15-minute time span, because that's really what you have to do during formal recruitment, is talk about 100 different things in a 15-minute time span. So yes, like I said, don't talk about boys, don't talk about booze, don't talk about your religion, and don't talk about politics. Talk about yourself, your aspirations, your major, your minor, your internships, your job, your family, your pets, your friends, your TV shows you're interested in, anything that really can show the sister or sisters you're talking to who you are, and anything that helps them get a better idea of the type of person you are will help them later on when they're making their judgment calls or when they're voting about you. So now we're going to quickly move on to appearance do's or don'ts. I get these questions very often. I put up a Q&A on my sorority's Instagram not too long ago, and a lot of girls were asking me, you know, what should I wear? Is this appropriate? What do you wear? All that kind of stuff. So I'm quickly going to just run through that stuff. Of course, I don't know if this could be generalized to all other schools. I'm talking from like a Stony Brook point of view on what I tell the girls to wear. So you can take these general tips, but you may also want to inquire with some sorority girls at your school, or, you know, Greek Life Advisor, anything like that, on what to wear. So for Stony Brook, the first few days are very casual, and I tell the girls this, it is very casual. So you want to wear jeans. You don't really want to wear jeans with like a lot of rips in them, but a rip here or there is fine. Jeans, a nice blouse, a nice sweater. It is spring, so it's cold because it's February in New York. That's where I am. So of course, a sweater, a nice blouse, a nice shirt with a cardigan. Jeans. You could wear leggings if the shirt you're wearing covers your butt, but don't wear leggings if they're see-through and your butt is not covered. You want to wear boots, booties, you know, riding boots, flats, shoes that are of course comfortable, because you are standing. At least at Stony Brook, you're standing. So shoes that are comfortable. Don't buy a new pair of shoes and expect to break them in at formal recruitment, because that's not a good idea. Of course, jewelry, I always say wear some sort of statement jewelry, a nice necklace or a pair of earrings, a hair tie that has a pattern or is floral or something like that, a bright nail color polish, something that can set you apart, because it's those small things that sisters notice when having a conversation with you. And then when they're talking about you later on, like say I talked to a girl who had a really pretty necklace on, I could be like, oh yeah, she was wearing that necklace and we talked about this, this, and this. So it definitely helps to wear some sort of statement something. Of course, if you don't have, don't go frantic, but that's just a little tip. For the don'ts of wearing for the first few casual days, no slides and socks, no open-toed shoes like flip-flops, no Uggs. I mean, Uggs aren't the worst, but they're definitely not the best. No slippers, no like hooker heels. Like I said, no leggings if they're see-through and your butt's not covered. No crop tops that show a lot of midriff. Nothing that shows too much cleavage. Makeup isn't a necessity, but you definitely, excuse me, you definitely want to go in there looking, you know, you want to have a good appearance. You want to look professional. Every sorority, there is some kind of business aspect related to it. So if you keep that in the back of your mind and you kind of think of it as if you're going to meet someone you're going to intern for, or you're going to go talk to your boss about something, like, you definitely want to make sure you're dressed professional. Doesn't have to be too crazy the first few days, and you definitely want to be presentable. Now for prep night, that's definitely the night I tell the girls it's much more formal. You want to wear a dress or a skirt and a nice blouse, slacks and a nice blouse. You can now wear heels. If they're open toe, make sure you have nail polish on, flats, booties, all that kind of stuff. something that, again, is more formal. Don't wear like a bodycon dress if you're going to wear a dress. Don't wear like a little crop top and flowy pants if there's a lot of midriff showing, like nothing you'd wear on a tropical vacation. If it is said that it's formal, don't wear jeans. That's what, just gonna say that. If it's formal, dress formal. Of course, it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Use your discretion. Make sure you feel comfortable and confident, and always ask questions. If you like know a girl in a sorority or something, don't be afraid to ask, like send her a picture or say, hey, do you think my outfit's okay? Can you like check it for me real quick? Don't be afraid to do that. And then like the 5th day for us is bid day, and that's definitely a much more casual day. I usually advise the girls to wear like sneakers. Of course, don't wear your frat shoes that have like juice all over them, but you can wear sneakers, Vans, Converse, Adidas, all that kind of stuff, or comfortable shoes because you're going to be like running home and you don't want to wear something uncomfortable or something that you can trip and fall in. But again, like jeans, a nice shirt, a nice sweater, still something presentable, something you feel comfortable and confident in. Nothing, you know, too much midriff, too much cleavage. Use your discretion, ask questions. So yeah, outfit do's and don'ts. Presentable, professional in some aspect. Use your discretion and ask questions. Not too much cleavage, not too much midriff. No super casual shoes like flip-flops, Birks, Uggs, like slippers. On formal days, definitely dress formal. Don't take it as like a recommendation. If it says formal, it's formal. So of course, wear a dress, nothing too crazy, nothing you'd wear to a club or a bar, or like I said, a tropical vacation, if you know what I mean about that. And yeah, just don't be afraid to ask questions. So I know I talked about a lot of information in a really short period of time, but I hope anything in this video you guys find helpful. Of course, if you have any questions on something I didn't touch on or something I did touch on, leave that in the comment section below. I always try to answer my comments in a timely manner. Or if you guys want to DM me on Instagram, I'm always open to having a conversation via DM on Instagram. I always leave my Instagram at the end of every video, and it's also in the description box. If you guys have any video recommendations, of course, leave them down below. I take any recommendations from anyone, sorority related or not. It doesn't have to be specifically sorority related if you're leaving it on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are going through formal recruitment, I am rooting for you. I wish you the best of luck. And if you're hesitant on going through Greek life, definitely ask questions and inquire, or even just give it a chance. You could go through the first day of formal recruitment and then realize it's not for you and drop out. But I always say it's better to try than to never try and not know what could have been, if that even makes sense. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And if you have not done so already, head on down there and subscribe. You guys know I always appreciate all the love and support that I can get. We are slowly growing, and it makes me so excited. And yes, I guess with all that being said, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.